Nancy, are you ready?
I'm ready. Just say you're ready.
I am ready.
Let's go.
Okay. Hi, neighbors. Welcome to Stories Next Door, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm your host, JC Joyce. Today, I have been blessed to have a sister, a fellow East African in the pod, Nancy Masila. Nancy, you are the founder, CEO of Jasiri Network. And in your own words, on your website, this is what you say.
Okay.
Okay? Jasiri Network is a project close to my heart and dear to me. It's something I've been wanting to put together for a while, but life happened and never really got around. Take me back to when you wrote this in 2022, I believe.
Yes. It was, I think, either August or September. I'm thinking September because that was just after I came from Paris. I was out there for a solo trip, but then a friend of mine used to live there. And then I came back and I was so full of creative ideas and just bursting out of having had such a beautiful summer in Paris. And that's when I penned that. So it's actually really, I haven't read it in a while, actually.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I saw that and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You sound like a poet.
I love writing. I've always loved writing and reading from a very young age. And even with my English teachers, I remember back in school, I always just wrote my own stuff, my own things. Sometimes it never always made sense. But now looking back, I'm like, that's just a form of expression. Fun fact, I even used to have a blog back in my uni days.
I know, I remember the story. I remember you tell me and mention this. So Jasiri Network.
Yes.
What exactly is Jasiri Network?
Wow. So Jasiri Network is a community for the African diaspora professionals, currently based in the UK. And that's basically what it is. It's a community, African diaspora professionals, full stop.
I've started multiple businesses and I understand how challenging it can be to start a business.
Yeah.
Especially as a foreigner in a foreign land.
Yes.
So you have had Jasiri for about what? 3 years now?
No, officially from last year.
Okay.
Yeah, because the 2022, when I was kind of putting together the website, I actually created the website, but we are doing a redesign with a creative agency. So at the time when I was creating that website, it was, I think, September 2022, but officially launching it was January of 2023. So that's when I kind of started it. So now it's 1 year and 9 months, close to 2 years.
Yeah. So were there any challenges that you had when you started your platform?
That's a great question. In terms of challenges, to be fair, I don't feel like there were any challenges. The only bit was when I was starting out, I wasn't starting it as a business.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was supposed to be a passion project. And it was for a while. And I think it was for the whole full year of 2023, it was, I think when I made the realization that this could be a business was this year, 2024. So when I was starting out, were there any challenges? I think I basically covered all my bases. I created the website myself. So I didn't even pay anybody. I just paid for the infrastructure, like the domain, the hosting, and then did the design myself. I wrote the stories for my friends. I just reached out. And then even with the events that we were doing, I was kind of just doing it in food markets and just telling people to come. I mean, you were there.
Yeah, I was there. Yes.
So there wasn't really a challenge per se. And because I wasn't doing it as a business, I couldn't even compare it to like goals or whatever. So I kind of just vibing. It was vibes.
And that's how good things start.
Yeah.
You started it as a passion project.
Yes.
And looking at it now, what is the vision? What are we hoping for? Because I know we always joke about Jasiri New York.
We have to go to New York.
We have to go to New York 2025. So what is the vision?
We're in New York, JC.
We're already in New York.
We're already in New York.
We are there.
I can just visualize it.
Amen.
The vision, to be fair, I think the vision has evolved from the minute I started Jasiri Network. Because when I started Jasiri Network, there's no way in hell I would have thought it would be what it has become. Because when I started Jasiri Network, it was for me. It was for me because 3 years in the UK, it had gotten to a point where I was asking myself, what's next? What do I want to do? And then also looking at, when it comes to corporate, the different levels that I was supposed to kind of go through, be it senior management, leadership, and I'm asking myself, is this the journey or is this the future that I want for myself? And then the other thing was I wanted to find roots in London because, you've experienced this. Being in London, it's very transitional for lots of people. A lot of, you make friends, they come and go. Things are always moving. Things are always going about. So you can't feel like a paper bag in the wind. Just, not finding a place to ground yourself in. So I really wanted that for myself. So at the time, it was just like, I want to find something that's keeping me grounded in London. Otherwise, there was no way I was finding the motivation to keep going. So it was for me. And at that time, it was also for the people just close to me, yourself included. But it evolved. It evolved beyond my social circles. It evolved beyond Kenyans. It evolved beyond what I could have imagined it to be. So what I thought would just be a gathering of my friends has turned out to be a gathering of the African community in London, in the UK. We've had some fantastic partnerships with agencies I would never, ever dream of. It's allowed me to be in rooms with people I would have never imagined. So the vision has evolved, but ultimately at the core of it, I would say is the community. Because, especially with like the African diaspora, the communities tend to be very fragmented. So that you have people doing some incredible stuff on this side, other people doing some incredible stuff on this side, but never really together. So I hope Jasiri Network kind of brings the African diaspora together. And I feel like when we are more and we are, collectively, we can do more together than if, Jesse's doing, your own thing over there, Nancy's doing my own thing over here. Because look at this, Jasiri Network, JC,
yes.
That's what I'm hoping to do with the community.
So, Jasiri Network, what does Jasiri mean in your own words? That word Jasiri, because it's not an English word.
It's not. So, Jasiri is a Swahili word. Jasiri, because you're from East Africa, and Swahili is one of the languages spoken in lots of parts of Eastern Africa.
Yes.
And also maybe... Is it Southern Africa?
Some Southern African countries.
So Jasiri literally means brave. Jasiri means strong. Jasiri means champion. Jasiri means resilient. Jasiri means excellence. So Jasiri means quite a number of things. And I felt like the word Jasiri really encompassed the community.
It does.
Because think of it. You're an African diaspora. You're coming to a foreign country and you're making your way around it, and you're excelling while doing it.
You have to be Jasiri.
You're a champion. You are brave. You're confident. Yeah, so I just felt like it was very fitting for the community. And I also asked people what they thought about the name. And they were like, yeah, I like the name. And I was like, yeah, I kind of like it too.
Yes, it is.
It's stuck.
Yes, it is. It's here to stay.
Yeah.
It is here to stay.
Yeah.
So Jasiri is about community. It's about networking. We have a question from one of our neighbors.
Ooh.
Okay. So one of our neighbors asks, hi, Nancy.
Hi.
I'm a 26-year-old Kenyan lady. You did say Kenya. Okay, I don't see your Van Cleef. I have my Van Cleef.
You've come in there.
I don't see yours.
Oh my god! Yeah.
So she says that she is a Kenyan lady working at a major firm in the city.
Mm-hmm.
She's been here for 3 years. And while I'm doing well professionally, I often feel like I'm not building the kind of meaningful connections I want in my career. I often feel like I'm not building. It sometimes feel like networking is just surface level interactions, and I struggle to form deeper relationships with colleagues and industry peers, especially as a woman navigating a new culture. How can I create more genuine connections in a high-pressure competitive environment? So what do you think?
I do relate a lot to that question. And I mean, congratulations, 3 years working in the big city. You know, you're a big girl.
I know. She said a major firm.
Major firm.
You had to drop it in there.
I love that. I love that for her. I think the first thing I would say is go where you're celebrated.
Yes.
Because you can be trying to be in spaces where they don't see your value. And I don't think you should be in those spaces. There are lots of places you can go where you're celebrated. So go where you're celebrated. Go where you feel like you can create meaningful relationships, meaningful networks. That said, you also need to be very intentional. I mean, being in London, being in a big city, being in a foreign country, you have to be intentional. And being intentional can look like trying to identify people you're on the same vibe, or trying to identify people who are in similar background and reaching out to them and just being like, hi, you know, I'm seeing you're doing this. Can we connect? Or even going to networking events, conferences, summits, and trying to put yourself out there, your authentic self. So that's another thing people forget. People might try to show their more curated selves and in the process attract that curated image, which might feel as not being authentic. So bring your authentic self into these spaces, into these events you're going to, to meet networks or to meet different people, and try and be as authentic as possible, but be intentional. And if you're seeing that your presence is not appreciated, please move as fast as you can, because, you being in those spaces can drain you, and that's not what you want. Yeah.
I think being intentional obviously is very important, knowing your why, because when you're in the right environment, you meet the right people.
Yeah.
Okay. You introduce yourself to their mindset. Okay. And you never know. They might, your trajectory in life can change. Just because you were in the right room.
Yeah.
So
actually, you're a great example for how people should be intentional. Jessie hunted me. She was like, I'm going to be your friend.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I also wanted to add that following up and staying connected.
Yes.
Because we met in 2021.
Okay. Where?
We met at a mutual friends event.
Okay, yes.
In 2021.
Can I say what I thought of you?
Go on.
So Jessie had a very strong red lip. She was stunning. So I entered this room and I'm like, damn, who's this babe? And she, sometimes you can come off as being very aloof or very serious.
I do get that.
I just kept to myself.
I
like,
do
damn,
get that.
Beautiful babe, but okay, I'm minding my business. And then I think that was that. I don't think we connected that time.
We didn't.
We didn't speak.
We didn't.
But I noticed you.
I did notice you too, because you look like my friend, Winnie. So I went home and I called Winnie like, I met this lady and she looks like you. And Winnie was like, is that Nancy? I was like, wait, how do you know her?
Yeah.
That's how the conversation started.
Yes.
Then we reconnected at Winnie's wedding the following year.
Yes.
And since then, I just started, you know what, let me message this girl. Let me get into her life. And you aired me.
She was like, Nancy, I want to meet her for brunch. When are you free? Okay, can we book this? And this is the place we're going to meet. And then a few days, we are meeting, right?
Yes. Yes. How I felt was I met this lady who has a lot going on for herself, okay, professionally. I had spoken to Winnie about you, and Winnie was like, you guys would actually be really good friends.
Yeah.
So I was intentional. I was like, this lady is going to be my friend, whether she likes it or not. But it also helped that we had Winnie, but we also had Benji.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So them being your friend first, I was like, this is a good connection to have.
I think also being at the wedding, and the wedding, I think it was like 2 days or...
Yes.
Yeah. So it was a long time for us to get to know each other, you know, with Winnie being a mutual friend, and it's a beautiful day, it's a wedding, and connecting with other people. We were put on the same table as well. Winnie knows what she's doing.
She did.
She put us on the same table. So I think it gave us time to get to know each other. And frankly, I don't know if I'm always busy or I look busy. Because the other thing is, people don't know this, but I'm quite conservative.
You are.
I'm quite shy. Oh my God.
Yeah, you are.
I'm quite shy. So I'm always in just like my personal space, unless like, So sometimes it's not like I'm busy or anything. It's just like, I want to just be home, be by myself. And unless I'm in like just serious stuff or at an event, then I wouldn't possibly.
But when you did agree and we met for brunch, I remember that meeting because at some point we were both vulnerable and we shared stories.
I cried.
I did. I remember you did. I remember you cried.
I cried,
and
man.
that created a very special bond.
Yeah.
Because trust was built.
It was authentic.
Yes,
and that's what I'm talking about. Like, you know, we can't be tempted to have this, you know, curated image of ourselves, or even the perception. And the thing could be, it's not even the way we want to be perceived, but it's just how others perceive us. And I think in one way or the other, whenever it happens, just try to be your authentic self. I think that day, I don't know why, but I just felt very emotional. And then we were having a conversation that really touched on a very sensitive time in my life. I think we were talking about uni.
Yes.
And, you know, when I was just starting out uni, my dad had just passed away. So my dad had passed away when I was 19 years. And that was just immediately after high school. The results for high school had come out. I'd gone into my dream uni, my dream course. And then actually before I knew which uni and course I was going to, my dad passed away. So young Nancy thought, that's it. I wouldn't make it to uni, you know. And then, you know, my mom and myself having to go through the whole process of getting into uni, trying to find government funding, which I never got, and also thinking, this is it, this is the end. And then having to start applying for like local bursaries. And with bursaries, as much as they're great, you don't repay them as you would like a student loan from the government, but it's not long term. So with the government student loans, it comes every year, but with bursaries, it doesn't come every year. With bursaries, it's a one-off application, and you get the money once. And you might not even get the amount of money you need. It's whatever is given to the counties. So it was always more of, you never know if you'll have enough money for uni. And I remember being in uni and just really struggling. I didn't even have a laptop in uni.
And you still had a blog.
And I had a blog because I used to use the student labs. So I would go and queue at the student labs to get time to, you know, to work on my blog. And you know, the funny thing is, my first job, I got it because of my blog. And I got the job, it was a startup. They were trying to set up in Nairobi. And at the time, they were trying to get access to the university students. And again, I was writing about my very similar to Jasiri. You know, right now Jasiri is more professional, but back then with the blog, it was students, and it was my friends actually. So already I had an audience of students. So it really just tied perfectly. So they reached out, and this was my last year of uni. And that's how I managed to save enough money for my laptop.
So if you were to sit with that young lady now, what would you tell her?
She's a badass. Oh my God. Nancy from uni, so determined. I have stories for days. I actually look to that Nancy for guidance to this day. Because what in the hell? I had so much resilience back then. What would I say to her? I would say, you're in the right path. You're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. You're kicking ass.
Nah, she was.
Yeah. So when we met, there was so much emotions and, us talking about uni. So it definitely brought tears to my eyes and I cried. As bad bitches do.
I know.
What did you think of me crying that day?
You know what? It was okay because it was a safe place. Okay, and I welcomed any type of emotion that you came with at that particular day.
Yeah.
So I did not feel any type of way that what's wrong with this lady? Why is she crying?
Yeah.
No, I did welcome it.
Oh yeah,
because I could feel that it was something that you needed to share. So I was happy to be a part of that journey there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But so I'm looking at your website right now.
Yes.
And you write, I want to tell the stories of my people of my time.
Yes.
Can you share a story of someone who has particularly inspired you throughout your journey?
So many. I think there's so many people, specifically from Jasiri Network or just overall?
Overall, within your university, moving to the UK, building Jasiri. Who has been that one person that you say, this person has impacted this journey so much?
One, I would say my colleagues from my first job in Kenya. Just seeing them prosper and move to these different countries, because a lot of them have gone to either UK, the British Islands, the US, Canada, and they've gone as experienced hires. And they are doing really well. They're getting promoted and just seeing them go through life, getting married, having babies, some getting divorced.
Yeah.
Just life happening. I think
yes.
that has been such great inspiration. And it's also made me be like, you know what? We're in this together and we're doing it. And I've loved seeing their journey because even some of them we used to be in uni together. Some of them we used to be in primary school together. The friend I was visiting in Paris, we were in uni together.
Okay.
Yeah, we were in uni together. There's another friend of mine in Bermuda. We were in uni together. Then we went to work together. And they're just doing amazing. They're doing amazing. The other people I would say are these people that get into entrepreneurship. I don't know if I should be mentioning their names, but just seeing people my age, the same background, running $1 million companies.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
The hell?
It's crazy.
What the hell?
It is crazy when you look at it.
And you know them. And you know their life story. And you were there when they were starting and creating. And be like, I can do that. There's nothing stopping me.
Nothing is stopping you.
And it's not like it's Mark Zuckerberg who's far away. No, this is somebody you know.
In your circle. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Can I just say that you are one of my very few friends. I have very few friends who inspires me a lot.
Oh.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, first, you're very kind.
Thank you.
You're very humble.
Thank
I had the privilege of meeting your mother. Okay.
Yes, you meet Mom.
She is so loving and kind and welcoming. And I spent a few hours with her, but I was saying, this is where Nancy gets it.
She cooked chapatis for your girls.
She made us chapatis.
Yeah.
So first of all, she raised a beautiful, amazing woman.
Thank you.
Because when I look at my friends, I'm like, yeah, she has it going for herself. Yeah. I want to be like her. Okay, I want to be like her. Honestly, talking about your mom. Okay, so you spoke about your father. Going to heaven at when you were very young.
Yes.
So you ended up being you're the firstborn.
I'm the firstborn. I have 3 younger siblings.
Wow. So you ended up being the anchor supporting your mom.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
take me back.
Oof, do I want to go back?
Okay, just take me back a bit. But what would you tell your mom?
What would I tell my mom? What would I tell my mom now? What would I tell my mom then? I would say she's done a fantastic job. My mom is a teacher, and she literally put the four of us through uni.
Wow.
Imagine.
That's a strong woman.
She's amazing. And like, you've met her, she's so kind. She's so giving. I always say, like, I want to be her. Because I don't think I'm at that, point. And even in terms of like motherhood and being a wife, I definitely look up to her and what she's been able to do. And I'm always like, I hope I get to be as an amazing of a mom as she is. I don't know if I'll get that because she's so patient. She's been patient with me, and I'm quite the whack. I'm whack, babe. What? But I would tell her she's done an incredible job, raising me, raising my 3 siblings. I have my brother that follows me, then my sister and my younger brother. And we all went to uni, unis of our choice, to do our own courses. It helped that we were all very good in school, so we didn't have trouble getting into uni. But it's one thing to get in uni, and then another thing to be able to afford uni. So thankfully, getting into the unis, and they were government universities, so it wasn't as expensive as like private ones. But she was super smart lady. Being quick in helping us apply for bursaries. Oh my God, I remember with the whole, but you have to apply every single time.
Every year?
Every year.
Okay.
And you don't know if you'll get it. So you have to also have good grades.
Yes.
Every single time. Man.
Wow.
Yeah, and all of us, I think we went through either, school bursaries. We call, in Kenya, we call this groupings of like women coming together for funds like chamas, merry-go-round.
Yes.
Yeah, so taking some money from like chamas, just borrowing here, putting money here. And she took us through uni. Our last one is 20, third year doing pharmacy. Yeah,
pharmacy.
Yeah. So she's done an incredible job. Has. And one day I hope to be as amazing as she has been, And she came all the way to visit me for summer. And I had the most amazing summer with her. It was really great because being a firstborn and sharing my mom, spending 2 weeks just me and my mom, that was amazing. That was a premium experience.
It's time for you to spend time with her. Did you take her around Buckingham Palace?
I did. Okay. All the 9 years, like Buckingham Palace, Tower Bridge.
Did she take pictures? Because I see Akarudi Kenya. Then it's like, where were you?
Pictures, videos, everything. She loved it. She loved it. And the weather was fantastic as well.
Yeah. The weather was good when she was around.
Yeah.
Well, happy woman. Yeah. I'm glad you were able to do that for your mom.
I was so glad I was able to do it for her as well, because I think the intention was to have her come here earlier, but then COVID happened. So that kind of affected a little bit because COVID here took almost 2 years. And then when things started opening up, it was, family was like, you'd better come back home instead of us just visiting. So it took a bit of time, sorry, but eventually she did come, and I think the timing was perfect. Yeah.
So talking about back home, about Kenya, beautiful country.
Yeah.
What's Jasiri doing in Kenya in December? Because you've been telling me this.
Yes.
So what's happening in December?
Wow. So in December, it's going to be 2 years of Jasiri Network.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm Kenyan, right? But I've never been to Kenya with Jasiri Network. So I want to bring Jasiri Network to Kenya, and specifically to Nairobi. So we are planning on having one of our biggest events in Nairobi on the 21st of December. And we are going to be having the Jasiri Network Nairobi Summit. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I know it's going to be a fantastic time. And the event is going to be one of its kind, by the diaspora, for the diaspora, and just bringing together everyone who's kind of abroad or, works internationally together to network, to have a good time, to learn from each other, to learn about opportunities in different places, and even learn about, if you do decide to come back home, what that looks like and what are your options. because most times you might not know. But then, us curating an event where you can be able to ask all those questions and see all those different possibilities, it's really beautiful. And also go through things that affect the diaspora, things like investing back home, supporting your family, because a lot of people do that, how that looks like. And also something that I really want to do is talking about well-being, well-being abroad, well-being, in the diaspora, because a lot of people don't really think about it. I think, whenever you talk about the diaspora, people just think about remittances. People think about what the diaspora can do for their home country, which is fair enough, because it's one of the biggest foreign exchange earners in, most of the African countries, Kenya being one of them.
Yes.
But people never think about how do we support our people who are in the diaspora. Nobody asked that question.
Nobody does. And the thing is, it's tough out here.
It's tough.
Mentally, it's very draining.
Yeah.
Because, oh gosh. So I've been here for quite a long time compared to you.
How long, Jessie?
I've been here for over a decade.
Ooh.
I know. I'm like, gosh.
Yeah. I've only been here for half of that time. And I know it's hard.
It is hard. So having friends like you has really helped.
Yeah.
Speaking to different people, networking.
Yeah.
We also have Jasiri event socials pretty much every quarter.
Yeah.
So that has been really helpful. But the thing is, you came here as an expert.
Yes.
In the UK, no family. That bold decision of you saying, I want to start something for myself, for my people, for the continent. How did that come about? Because I have started businesses, right? And I have naysayers. Oh my days. People would tell you that this is not going to work. You shouldn't even think about it. So what made you push through?
I think, again, because Jasiri Network has been for me, like from the get-go, because I knew the amount of struggle and challenges that people face when they move to a new country. I faced it firsthand, but I was very lucky in that I had people taking me on board. Like, I remember when I first joined the workplace, the firm that I work at currently, people would just invite me for after work drinks. People would invite me to their homes. There were like lots of get-togethers. But if somebody doesn't get that, more so during COVID, there wasn't even that available. So I know the struggles and the need and the craving for community out here. I think being back home on the continent, on the African continent, you can take community for granted. Here, you have to be very intentional to build your community. And I knew we really needed that. And the experiences of the different African communities were very similar. I'm Kenyan, and I know what it means, right? You're from Tanzania, and you know exactly what I mean. Even my friends from Zimbabwe, like, they also have the same kind of struggle. So it's something that resonates across the different countries on the African continent. And again, because it started as a passion project, I wasn't thinking too much about it. But then as I kept running the Jasiri Network, the more I realized how big of a need this was in our community, that there wasn't anyone catering to the professionals as they should, and people are out here. Yes, they're in great jobs. Yes, they're doing all this, but there is no community.
And as I said, I've been here for a while, and I think at some point I did contemplate of going home and staying.
Yeah.
Only because it just felt so lonely. It felt so lonely. And I always thank God for what I know now when it comes to networking.
Yeah.
Because networking has opened so many doors for me. I've met incredible people through networking, made friends through networking.
Yeah.
So listen, that is something that I would scream at the top of my lungs. Network. And as you said, be intentional when it comes to networking. So you spoke about the event in December in Kenya. Is there any tickets currently?
Yeah. We haven't yet released the tickets.
Okay.
But watch out. We will be releasing very soon. However, on our different platforms, you can find a place to kind of like pre-register so that you get the early bird tickets. So that like when they drop, the minute they drop, you'll be among the first people to get it. But yeah, the ticket should be out very, very soon. So I don't know what, by the time this podcast is out, I don't know, probably they might be out.
Yes.
We have lots of surprises, but I'm not going to tell people now. Just watch this space, and I think it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, it's and it's going to be something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something new for the community there. And, you say definitely you're going to have a lot of speakers come through.
Yes.
And share their experiences and all that. So, you know what? We're in Nairobi in December, apparently.
I'm quite excited. And, it's lots of people from different parts of the world kind of really excited as well. And even with the pre-registration, we have a couple, obviously we have lots of people from the UK. But we also have a couple of other people from like Europe, from the US. So Jasiri Network has quite reached a very diverse audience. Again, because Kenyans, we just be doing some amazing things out there, and we're all over the place. But in December, people come home for Christmas to be with family. So it's a great time for the gathering.
Yes. Yeah. It's a great time in Africa in December.
Yeah.
We call it bata. It's the bata in Tanzania does not stop. We don't sleep.
Yes, no sleep in Africa in December.
In December, there's no sleep.
Yeah.
It's all about having a good time.
Yes.
So Jasiri it's also going to be there, having a good time with people down there. So that's going to be incredible for everyone.
Yes.
So neighbors, if you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow on all social platforms, but also the Jasiri website is live. Have a look at what Jasiri is doing. Incredible things, incredible stories on there, inspirational stories for people, but also follow them on the social media platforms.
Yay!
Jasiri Network.
Yes, everywhere.
Everywhere it's Jasiri Network. Nancy,
yes.
I call Nancy Dada because Dada is sister in Swahili, and you mean the world to me. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. And thank you for supporting the podcast. This is the first episode.
Woo!
And you came through for the first episode.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This has been lovely.
Huh?
Yeah.
You enjoyed yourself?
I did.
You didn't even drink too much.
I imagine. Because that's how good the stories were. Like, we just need to keep going.
Honestly. As I said, thank you for being a true friend. I want to just take you back to the Bible. Okay. So there's a verse in the Bible and I hope I get this right because English is no English. Okay. So there's a book called Ecclesiastes in the Bible. And there's a verse that says, it says, just bear with me here because I don't want to butcher the Bible. How can we be butchering the Bible? Right? Let me just get that verse down. It's a very important verse because it talks about support and all this. But anyway, so it says, two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one will help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them out. So Dada, thank you so much for being a true sister. And thank you for supporting neighbors. Until next time, JC Joyce, your host, thank you so much.